Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So we are in the middle of the blue zones, people, and this is day 4. The blue zones are 5 places around the world where they saw a pattern of the different things that people did to live to at least 100 years old, but not just to make it to 100, which many can, but to actually thrive. So they're still exercising, they're still thinking, they're still parts of communities, they're viable members of society at 100 or even more. And we did Loma Linda, California. We looked at Costa Rica, and we also looked at Sardinia, Italy. And now we're on to Ikaria, Greece. And the sideline for this is the island where people forget to die. How brilliant is that? Excuse me. I'm still having trouble because the heat is unreal. The humidity, even in the desert, is not to be believed. The power was out for like 4 hours at school, and we kept school in session anyway. Wow. And so on days like that, it's just harder for me to breathe, right? Like everything is just thick and waiting, you know? So anyway, bear with me. I got something going on here. I am not sick. It is very temporary. All right, let's get into it. And of course, I will share this in the description of the video because that's how I roll, my friends. So again, the blue zones are something that we can aspire to. Let's not be concerned that there were only 5 acknowledged and that ultimately they may die out over time, right? With the poor westernized or standard American diet going into these different areas. And in fact, on one of them, the girl had said in Costa Rica that she was going to the blue zone and so thrilled, but that a McDonald's had popped up, and I think like another one. I remember when I was in Taipei, there was so much beautiful food, and even if there was meat, it was fresh. I mean, literally the fish was flopping around in the bag as we walked home. But sadly, there were things like Kentucky Fried Chicken already, you know, all those years ago. So the challenge is to continue to make good choices no matter where you are, and to create your own blue zone way of living, right? So this reads, this tiny island's long history has been as rocky as its topography, so the ups and downs, right? The outcropping in the Aegean Sea, Aegean. I'm not familiar. I didn't even know there was a sea called that. How is that possible? I know there's technically 7 seas. Hold on a second, I'm tripping. Okay, this is why, because I'm like, don't I teach geography? How don't I know this? So they took a liberty there because it literally says the 7 seas include the Arctic, North Atlantic, South Atlantic, North Pacific, South Pacific, Indian, and Southern Oceans. So, I mean, I would have thought of like, I mean, you can certainly say the Mediterranean Sea. I mean, there are some things like that, but this is the Aegean Sea. You guys are probably familiar. The exact origin of the phrase 7 seas is uncertain, although there are references in ancient literature that date back thousands of years. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure that I didn't seriously falter on that and, you know, go brain dead or whatever. Okay, let's go back. Sorry about that. Un momento, por favor. Okay, come on. All right, the Aegean, it's Aegean Sea, has been the target of invasions by Persians, Romans, and Turks, forcing its residents inland from the coast. The result, an isolated culture rich in tradition, family values, and longevity. And we're seeing that again and again in these blue zones. Today, Icarians are almost entirely free of dementia, praise God, and some of the chronic diseases that plague Americans, 1 in 3 make it to their 90s. A combination of factors explain it, including geography, culture, diet, lifestyle, and outlook. They enjoy strong red wine, so like the Italians, late night domino games, so again, just being with family, and a relaxed pace that ignores clocks. Gotta love that. Clean air, warm breezes, and rugged terrain draw them outdoors into an active lifestyle. And we're just seeing that again and again, where instead of intentional exercise, and certainly on a machine, it's just the way of your day based on what's required of you. Okay, and remember how yesterday it said move at least 5 minutes every hour? I did that intentionally today. Okay. Ikarians have woven the recipe for longevity into their culture and lifestyle. Follow these common practices to cultivate your own centurion lifestyle. Number 1, mimic mountain living. The longest lived Ikarians tended to be poor people living in the island's highlands. They exercised mindlessly by just gardening, walking to their neighbor's house, or doing their own work. The lesson to us: engineer more mindless movement into our lives. Number 2, eat a Mediterranean-style diet. Icarians eat a variation of the Mediterranean diet with lots of fruit and vegetables, yes please, whole grains, beans, potatoes, and olive oil. I knew they would talk about olive oil. Okay, so remember how the one yesterday don't tell me. Oh my gosh, how did I forget already what yesterday's was? The one for, I want to say Puerto Rico, but I mean to be saying, fill it in, people, fill it in, Costa Rica. Yeah, I'm exhausted from the heat, but let's keep going. This also has a wheel of what the percentages are. And I remember in the one for Italy, it literally said 1% fruit, which I just thought was crazy. So this one says 5% pasta, 5% meat, 4% sweets. That's a little more because those mostly said 3 or 2%. 1% grains, again a little less than the people who love their bread. 20% vegetables, that's impressive. 17% greens, and I like that they differentiate the vegetables from the greens. 16% fruit. Now I'm more likely to be inclined this way. 9% just in potatoes. Such a powerful food for them. 11% legumes. 6% fish, and of course it's an island. And 6% olive oil. All right. Try cooking with olive oil, it says, which contains cholesterol-lowering monounsaturated fats. And some people actually debate heating olive oil in any way. They recommend that you just pour it on things rather than use it, that it's not one of the better ones that heats. But that's, a debate for another day. And of course, my thought is don't use oil at all, right? Okay, stock up on herbal. People in Ikaria enjoy drinking herbal teas. Yes, so do I. With family and friends, and scientists have found that they pack an antioxidant punch. Wild rosemary, sage, and oregano teas also act as a diuretic, which can keep blood pressure in check by ridding the body of excess sodium and water. I love it. Nap. So remember I was saying how they have a siesta in Italy and literally just shut everything down from 12 to 3. This says nap. Take a cue from Icarians and take a mid-afternoon break. People who nap regularly have up to 35% lower chances of dying from heart disease. It may be because napping lowers stress hormones or rests the heart. That's super interesting. Another thing with, we're very busy. And again, it doesn't mean we're productive. We're just busy. And it is found that even just a 20-minute power nap, and I would say 19-minute power nap, because at 20 you can accidentally fall into the next level, getting towards REM, right? That 20-minute power naps are super healthy and helpful to your system. Fast occasionally. And I love this because I often come on here with you guys and say, oh my gosh, my pig's not eating, or my dog didn't eat today or yesterday. And, fasting is a natural way for the body to just say, give us a second. We're trying to pull it back together. Something didn't work, right? So this says fast occasionally. Icarians have traditionally been fierce Greek Orthodox Christians. So again, there's that faith. Remember that very first one in California, Loma Linda was the Seventh Adventist Church. They were Greek Orthodox Christians. Their religious calendar called for fasting almost half the year. Wow. Caloric restriction, a type of fasting that cuts about 30% of the calories out of the normal diet, is the only proven way to slow the aging process in mammals. So interesting. In Catholicism, we definitely have days of fast. But the rule for it is that your first and second meal combined do not exceed the size of the third meal. So of course some people get stupid and just increase both meals, and then they're like, look, it didn't exceed that last meal because I ate a small country twice and I only had a city for dinner. It's not like that, but that would definitely get you at that 30% margin. Make family and friends a priority. Again, I was saying that sometimes because of the stress and pressure of my life, it's almost effort or tiring to have to make additional time for anything besides work and family. And there's nothing healthy for that, So by grace, I'm able to incorporate and respond to family and friends. So make family and friends a priority. Ikarians foster social connections, that's a hyperlink, which have been shown to benefit overall health and longevity. So get out there and make some plans. Choose goat's milk over cow's milk. And I'm trying to think of that because I think that was the second one in Sardinia, Italy, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, they definitely talked about the benefit of grass-fed goat's milk over cow's milk. Instead of cow's milk, Ukrainians use grass-fed goat's milk. It provides potassium and stress-relieving hormone tryptophan. It's also hyperallergenic and can usually be tolerated by people who are lactose intolerant. That's straight up. All right, my friends, that's it for our fourth blue zone, which brought us to Greece. Let's go back very quickly. It is known as the island where people forget to die. So brilliant. 1 out of 3 live to be at least into their 90s without dementia. They mimic mountain living, encourage eating a Mediterranean-style diet, stock up on herbal tea, nap, fast occasionally, make family and friends a priority, and choose goat milk over cow's milk if you're going to go in that direction. I love it. So anyway, God bless Queen Elizabeth. And he certainly did bless her, let's be fair, 96 years. And literally 2 days ago, she was, honoring their newest prime minister. And, here she is exiting the planet today. It's not like she was sick for a long period of time, and I thank God for that. Today happens to be my father's death day, though it was back in 2008. So he's already been gone for 14 years. And I was blessed enough to literally be with him to his last breath. And my husband helped to care for him. What was interesting, because I still have my mother, my husband still has his father. But his mother happened to die the same day as Princess Diana. So we thought that was an interesting coincidence, to be sure. But peace be with you. If you were hurting at all over the, losing Queen Elizabeth, is also the Virgin Mary's birthday, what we recognize to be the Virgin Mary's birthday. And I did put an interesting quick read on my Facebook page about kind of the parallels between the Virgin Mary and Queen Elizabeth, just as women called to go above and beyond. Okay? All right, my friends, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. Are you surviving this heat? I pray for all of you. I know what we're going through here. I'm hoping for power tomorrow. Here was a joke. I got a phone call. And I really have to leave at a certain time, and if I don't, I'm going to be late. But I got a phone call right before I was about to leave at 7 o'clock. And it said, hey, school's canceled, the power's out. And I'm like, thank you, God. Are you kidding me? Thank you so much. So then I was kind of just hanging out going, yeah, I'm so excited. About 20 minutes later, the phone rang back. Power's back on, come to school. And that 20 minutes really makes a difference, like exponentially, in terms of traffic and stuff and trying to get there. And I decided not to panic. I was like, you know what, I'm going to make it by the bell no matter what, and everybody knows why. I'm considered late, right? So yeah, I made it. I went there with a positive attitude. What was interesting, though, of course, was that the power did go out, and then finally it was ultimately out, and it made for a very warm and creative day. Because, today in most schools we do use computers now, and I had to get out the paper and pencil and try and navigate without the visuals and see what we could do. And, anybody would say well, some people would say grab chalk, right? Grab chalk and write on the chalkboard, which doesn't exist anymore. Others, at the very least, would say the whiteboard. But because we use smart TVs and things like that, and the children use all their own computers, it's just not as easy as you think to go retro. And there was a couple other things, like in the cafeteria, the children wanted water. Well, the water is a power button that runs with electricity. Like all of a sudden, they were getting a glimpse at how many things were not readily accessible without power, right? So yeah, prayers for tomorrow. And until we talk again, best of all, remember that blue zones are available if you dare to just create your little region of your personal life and make it happen. And therefore, we're blessed.